What if China's first dynasty was not actually the first? Before the Xia, ancient texts speak of the age of Yao and Shun and of a people called the Yu. Some modern storytellers call this forgotten world the Yu dynasty. But there is a problem. Archaeologists have never found a royal inscription, capital, or tomb that identifies any state by that name. So was Yu a lost dynasty, a distant memory, or a legend created centuries later? The mystery begins with the sources. Works such as the Book of Documents, Zuo tradition, discourses of the states, and records of the grand historian preserve stories about Yao, Shun, and Yu the Great. Yet the surviving versions were compiled long after the era they describe. They do not present a Yu dynasty in the same securely documented sense as the Shang. Instead, Shun is associated with Yue clan, lineage, or political group, and later tradition placed his age before the Xia. That distinction matters. Shun and Yu were not the same person. According to the traditional account, Shun transferred authority to Yu the Great, the flood tamer who founded the Xia. Yu was linked to the Xia Ho lineage, while Shun belonged to Yu. Turning Yu into a unified dynasty may impose a later idea of monarchy on a world that was probably a shifting landscape of settlements, alliances, ritual centers, and competing chiefs. Then archaeology changed the question. Across China, excavations have revealed sophisticated societies from the centuries traditionally associated with Yao, Shun, and Yu. One of the most spectacular was Shijiahe, centered in modern Hebei, between roughly 2500 and 1900 BCE. Its people built walled settlements, managed water, produced fine pottery, and left extraordinary jade figures, humans, birds, cicadas, and other creatures with haunting eyes. Could Shijiahe have been Yu? The timing is tempting, but timing is not identity. Tiger imagery, jade styles, burial customs, or pottery symbols cannot by themselves reveal the name of a people. Similar symbols can travel through trade, warfare, migration, or shared religion. Marks scratched onto Neolithic pottery may have carried meaning, but no continuous chain has been demonstrated from those marks to the fully developed oracle bone. Writing of the late Shang, the oracle bones create an even deeper silence. By around 1250 BC, Shang diviners recorded sacrifices, harvests, childbirth, hunts, warfare, and royal ancestors. Thousands of inscriptions survive. None contains an undisputed account of the Shang overthrowing the Xia, and none proves the existence of a Yu dynasty. But silence is not disproof. Oracle bones were not history books. They were records of divination selected for particular royal rituals. Other records may have been written on perishable wood or bamboo and vanished. Later Zhou writers could have inherited genuine traditions, but those traditions may also have been reshaped to explain why one ruling house could morally replace another. That is where the famous story of abdication becomes unsettling. Later texts praise Yao and Shun for choosing worthy successors rather than their own sons. Yu, after conquering the floods, supposedly received power from Shun. After Yu's death, however, hereditary rule emerged under Yu's son Qi. It is a perfect moral drama. Virtue gives way to dynasty. Yet other ancient traditions are far darker. Some portray early succession not as peaceful abdication but as exile, coercion, or conflict. Yu also had reason to resent Shun. Tradition says Shun punished Yu's father, Gun, after Gun failed to control the flood. Did Shun freely surrender power to the son of a condemned man? Or did later writers transform a violent struggle into an ideal ceremony? We cannot know. Archaeology has uncovered major environmental disruption and political change around the end of the 3rd millennium BCE. But it has not identified Shun, Gun, or Yu, and it cannot prove that one enormous flood created the legend. Nor does the Xinzi High site prove the later story of Hou Yi's takeover of Xia. Hou Yi, often confused with the mythical archer Yi, appears in transmitted accounts of a complicated struggle involving rulers including Tai Kang, Xiang, and Shao Kang. Imperial remains may reveal cultural contact and conflict, but they do not come labeled with the characters' names. The same caution applies to the Yu conquered the San Miao tradition. Shi Jiahe's decline, changes in Jade culture, and interaction among communities along the Yangtze and Yellow rivers are real. Identifying those communities directly as the San Miao, or treating their transformation as proof of Yu's campaign, remains interpretation, not established fact. So, did the Yu dynasty exist? The most honest answer is that no dynasty called Yu has been archaeologically confirmed. But the legends may preserve distorted memories of a real age. Powerful regional centers, catastrophic floods, migrations, war, alliances, and the painful birth of hereditary rule. Shun's Yu people may have been one political community among many, later magnified into a golden age. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not why a mighty dynasty disappeared. Perhaps it is how fragments of a world without written history survive for 1,000 years until later generations turn them into the story of China's beginning. And somewhere beneath an ancient city, one inscription may still be waiting to tell us whether that story contains a forgotten name.